Hey everybody, Billy Beebe here, getting you in on a special experience right now in the world of college basketball, college football, everything kind of going on. This starts local, but it goes beyond the country. The transfer portal, talking about something really interesting. We're hearing more and more about it. And one of the kids right here in Stark County went through the transfer portal process. And we have Will Aljancic with us now. Will, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
And first off, congratulations. You just made your announcement, made your decision. Before we get to that, let's take you back to Louisville. Talk a little bit about your recruitment from the Leopards to the school you ended up going to in Findlay, and then what you want to do now after you've decided to transfer.
Yep. So, I love my time at Louisville. Basically, my recruiting started to pick up after my sophomore season. I was starting to talk to coaches and stuff. And then by the end of my junior year, going into that AAU season, I started to pick up a lot of offers. And then I was mainly recruited by Division II schools. And I ended up going to a Division II called Findlay. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to start off with the high school experience. I mean, like you talked about, you get that recruitment sophomore year, meeting different coaches. Is there ever a thought in your head now with the transfer portal being so easy to change school to school? Did you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to start Division II and try and work my way up to Division I? Or were you always saying to yourself, this is a school I want to go to for 4 years, and then it just kind of worked out this way?
Yeah. So basically, when I committed to Findlay, I always had a plan of staying 2 years there. Basically, just working out my resume in 2 years there and getting good stats and film. And then I always had the plan to transfer to Division I for my last 2 years. So that's always been kind of a plan with like me and my family.
Did you talk with coaches about that? Do you feel like coaches are more aware now that kids may have a plan to start Division II or Division III and then move up? Or do you kind of have to go through the same process where, hey, we're both going to kind of feel this out and see how it goes?
Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of like a feel out thing. I think my coaches were expecting me to leave after this year. Kind of said that in the exit interview that he wasn't surprised that I was leaving. But I know of kids that have gone places Division II and Division III and have like directly told the coach that they're planning on leaving and trying to transfer up and get money or whatever. But for me, I never really told the coaches that. It was always just a plan, like just with me and my parents. So,
Yeah, so let's start with your Findlay career. How many years? How do you feel like you did there? Did you accomplish everything you wanted to?
yeah. So basically, freshman year was a little bit rough team wise. I had a good individual season, but we didn't have a great record, and then we didn't make the NCAA tournament. And then this year, we had a great year. We were 24-5. We were ranked top 10 in Division II most of the year, and then we actually got snubbed out of the NCAA tournament at the end. Basically, everything that went wrong that we needed to go right went wrong, and somehow we got left out of the NCAA tournament as a 24-5 team. But overall, I think it was a great year individually and as a team.
Yeah, and statistically, you built after year one, even better in year two. And I mean, if I saw correctly, you were working a 6-man role starting sometimes. Did you feel like if you stayed there, you'd get better, or do you feel like the next level is where you can kind of take a jump?
Yeah. So my freshman year, I didn't start the first like 3 or 4 games. I came off the bench to start, and then the last 25 games of my freshman year, I started, and then this year, obviously, I started every game. But at first, when I got there, I was just trying to do whatever I could to get into that starting lineup. And I had like a career game, my first collegiate game, and that really helped me getting into the starting lineup and then having a good season from there. So.
Let's go back to high school. You said sophomore year is when you started getting recruited. Was it the same process here? Like after you had a good freshman year and competed again in your sophomore year, did you start hearing from other colleges just like it was high school?
Yeah. So this transfer portal experience has been a lot crazier than my high school recruiting. High school, it was like I was talking to schools, but it wasn't like I was talking to like hundreds of schools. And then once I entered the portal, I was getting like, I probably got over 500 Twitter follows from just coaches, and I probably got hundreds of texts and was on probably over 100 phone calls. So it was nothing like my high school recruiting. It was a lot more crazy and hectic, and there was a lot more coaches involved. So
Yeah, do you feel like this was a better opportunity for them to come to you this time instead of you hoping somebody would find you?
yeah, so yeah, basically high school, it was a lot of me reaching out to schools. It was me, it was my AAU coaches, it was my high school coaches trying to get me recruited. And basically it was completely different in the portal, as basically I didn't reach out to any coaches. Every school and coach that reached out to me, there was no like, I mean, there was people involved, like trying to get me recruited by a couple schools, but like it wasn't like I was like reaching out to schools. They were strictly reaching out to me, and that's how it really is in the transfer portal with these kids.
Yeah, so in high school, you got your coach, you got your parents. Things are kind of running more official. Obviously, I feel like you would get more help from Coach Siegfried and some other people in Louisville. Now you're kind of on your own. How did you kind of get through this process?
Yeah. So yeah, obviously I had Coach Siegfried and other coaches and family helping me in high school. And then it was strictly just like my parents were helping me out. My college coaches at Findlay were getting a lot of calls from other schools, basically just asking about me. So they definitely played a role, and like they told them the truth. They put in the good word and stuff, but it was pretty much strictly my parents that were helping me out through this transfer portal process.
Yeah, that was one of the things I'm interested in. I think that it's such a difficult thing because you kind of need their help a little bit to get out there and manage all that, but you're actually leaving that school.
Yeah.
Was that surprising to you that Finley helped?
Honestly, it wasn't surprising at all. It's just a testament to the character of those coaches. I was blessed to have a high character head coach at Findlay. And honestly, when I entered the portal, I knew that he wasn't going to try to screw me. And I knew he was going to tell the truth, because he's a morally good person. And yeah, I wasn't surprised that they helped me out. So,
All right, let's talk about the transfer portal. Pretty broad term. I think it's trending over the last few years to become easier and work out for people that they can transfer a little bit easier. I think people have questions, though, of how it works, what it means. Is there paperwork you're filling out? Is there an app you're joining? Is there a network now that you're a part of? Or is it just like you said, hey, you're out there on the open like a free agent and you can choose your next school?
yeah. So basically, how the transfer portal works in terms of how you get into it. So first, you're supposed to talk to your head coach and basically inform him that you want to enter the transfer portal. And from there, basically the compliance officer at whatever college you go to, they will send you paperwork and like these videos that you have to watch and go through. It didn't take long. It's probably a 20 or 30-minute process. And basically, once you're done with those paperwork, basically all you have to do is you sign, and then they have like, I think it's 1 to 3 days or something to put you into the transfer portal. So basically, it's up to them when they want to put you into the transfer portal. And then at Findlay, basically, he had put me in the transfer portal probably 30 minutes after I signed those papers. So I was very lucky to get into the transfer portal very early and stuff. So.
As far as options go, you mentioned hundreds of schools reached out to you. How many do you think you really whittled it down to that you were taking serious? 15, 10, 5?
Yeah, so basically, at the start, I basically narrowed it like every single Division II besides the national champion Nova Southeastern. I basically told like I know what I'm looking for. Like I'm set on going Division I. So basically, I probably had 30 or 40 Division I schools that were interested in me, and I think I probably narrowed it down to, I'd probably say like 10 as I was going through the process.
When talking to those schools, I know this is kind of a different thing because you're moving Division II to Division I, but I mean, you have a lot of options. Did you talk with coaches about, hey, I really need for this to be a good fit, I need this much playing time, or I need to feel like I'm going to start? Or was there any type of discussion like that?
Yeah, I would say there was discussions like that, but basically they asked me what I was looking for. I told them basically I wanted to go to a place that would be a good fit and that I'd have a chance to start right away and have a big role at. And basically they all respected it, and they said like basically where they saw me playing, and if I didn't think it was going to be a good fit, like it just didn't work out. So
All right, well, let's talk about the decision you made moving from Division II Findlay to the school that you selected, which you just announced on Twitter, but with the opportunity to talk with you now and kind of break it down a little more.
yeah. So basically, I went to Holy Cross for a 3-day visit this past weekend. So me and my parents, we flew down there Friday, and then we flew back Sunday afternoon. And basically, it was everything that I wanted. I got there and I kind of just had the feel like, yeah, like this is the place that I want to be at. I love the coaches. The coaching staff was a huge part of my decision, as well as the players. And they have high major facilities. So that definitely was appealing in my eyes. Just practice gym, recovery stuff, really nice athletic buildings, weight room, a great arena, etc. So that all played a big part in my decision. And basically, as I was going through the visit, I could just tell that this was the place for me. And basically, I was going to take some other visits, and I actually committed on spot. So I loved it. I just knew it was the place for me right off the bat.
Yeah, you go bigger city, bigger division, bigger school. Do you feel like that was your goal back at Louisville, or do you think after you realized you could play at Findlay, that the school you've chosen now is a better fit?
Yeah, so basically my entire life the goal is to play Division 1. It's just always been the dream to be a Division 1 basketball player. And I mean, we always talk about it in my household. It's always been a dream of mine to play in March Madness and just go through that experience. And so basically when I ended up going Division 2, I always had in the back of my mind like this is like there's an end goal to this, to playing Division 1 and competing for March Madness and a national title. And basically, I feel like Holy Cross is a place that we can really make noise next year and make March Madness. So that definitely played a role in my decision as well.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Congratulations on moving up. Let's talk about the experience for somebody in high school, for somebody in college. Would you overall recommend the transfer portal experience?
Yeah. So basically, I've seen a statistic that there's like 3,000 kids in the portal right now. And I don't know what the exact number is, but basically less than 50% of these kids find a home. So that other 50 or 60% of these kids, like they don't find a home, and they don't play basketball next year. So my advice to any kid that's considering going into the transfer portal is, if you think that you're going to find a good home, I would do it. And if you think like you're good enough to go up or the same division that you are, depending on how good the player is, I would make sure that you're like just well aware that there's a chance that you might not find a home and you might not be playing basketball next year. So if they're confident enough, I would say 100% enter the transfer portal and explore your options. But if you're at a place that you love it and it's a great fit, I would just recommend staying. So that would be my advice to other players for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. And looking back in high school, do you think there's a lot of kids that should look at, I'm going to do 2 years here and then try and move up, or should every kid still have the thought process of, this is my school, let's see how it goes, I should plan on 4 years, and anything else is kind of out of the air?
Yeah, I would say for all these kids to just have your mind where your feet's at. So whatever school you're going to, don't necessarily look at like the next division. Like if you're Division 3, like I want to eventually get to Division 2. I would just say like stay focused on the present, do what you have to do, and just have good seasons. And if you're in a position that you want to go up and you think you can, I would say 100% do it. But I would just say bloom where your feet are planted for sure.
Awesome. I love it. What's next for you, Will, as far as getting to campus, getting to work? I mean, technically, I mean, it's April. So are you finishing a school semester at Findlay and then getting to work there, or can you immediately get to work at Holy Cross, or how does that work?
Yeah, so basically I have about 2.5 weeks left at Findlay. And I only go to Findlay Tuesday to Thursday. So I don't have class Monday and Fridays. So I've been home for the most part. I'm basically living at home in Louisville, and I basically just go there for 3 days. So basically 2 weeks I'll be done, and then we report June 1st. So I'll be heading over to Boston to Holy Cross at June 1st. And then we're actually going to Greece in July to play against some of their professional teams and basically touring some of the places in Greece. So I'll be at Holy Cross doing workouts, getting ready for the season, all of June and July. And then my only summer will basically be August. So I'll be off August, and then I'll report to school late August for good. So.
Well, thank you so much. This is really exciting. I know WHBC and Stark County are happy for you that you got to move up how you hoped. And like you said, we hope to see you next in March Madness. So thank you for sharing the transfer portal experience with us.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for having me.